Resistance Chicks coming at you one more time, March 10th, 2017.
It would seem that Donald Trump is going to meet with Angela Merkel, the witch herself. Donald Trump seems to be a very good negotiator, so we shall see how it goes. But I thought that we would hear Nigel Farage's take on this meeting that will take place this coming Tuesday. All right, so here we go.
Now, President Trump meets with Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel next week. The meeting will take place at the White House. Come on in, please. Nigel Farage, the man behind Brexit and former UKIP leader.
Yeah.
All right, Nigel. Let's cut all the stuff about immigration aside for 1 second. I think President Trump will demand that Germany spend more money on its military. Are we prepared? Are you prepared in Europe for the rearmament of Germany?
Well, I've got to tell you that Germany, and in fact most of the EU members of NATO, are not paying their way, haven't been paying their way for years. In fact, Germany is spending nearer 1% of its budget on defence than the 2% that NATO rules suggest. And I think they're going to have some very harsh talks. My worry with all of this is that the European Union are saying to people like Germany, don't worry, spend less, let's have a European army and ditch NATO. And I do not believe that is a good thing for world peace.
That is really scary to think about, where the European Union is seeking to build an army. They are seeking nuclear weapons. They want to make this happen. And so what they're saying to the members of the EU is, don't worry, you don't need to have an army. Just don't spend your money. We're going to have an army ourselves. A nice, great, big European one with nukes and everything. Okay, Nigel, sorry.
I think this is, frankly, the most important discussion that Merkel and Trump can have.
They don't see eye to eye on so many issues, do they? Merkel and Trump, they just don't see eye to eye.
No, they don't. Of course they don't. And, you know, Trump himself has described Merkel's policy of saying anyone that wants to come will find room for you. Trump has called that a catastrophic error. I have to say, I'm very much on Trump's side of this argument. And whenever I personally met Mrs. Merkel, my relations with her have not been too good, I have to be honest. So no, they're not naturally going to be friends. And it's a big shock for the Germans because for the last 8 years, President Obama looked towards Germany as being his principal ally in Europe, whereas Trump looks towards the United Kingdom. So this is big change.
Can you bring us up to speed on the 2 elections in Europe that are coming up? There's one in the Netherlands, I think, this month, where a nationalist guy could win. And then there's the big one in France just a little later. What's the state of play in those 2 elections, Nigel?
Right. The state of play is that Geert Wilders, his party, the PVV, are in the lead in the opinion polls. I don't think anyone doubts that he will win the election in the sense that his party will get the biggest number of votes and the biggest number of seats, but it's unlikely he'll be able to form a coalition government. What is happening in France is absolutely fascinating. Marine Le Pen of the Front National, a party that I've never liked very much, although I've got time, I must say, for Marine Le Pen herself. She's in the lead. So here's how it works, guys. It's difficult to explain this to Americans having just been through your run, but there is a first round. There'll be about 14 candidates, and the top 2 go through to a runoff, which will take place in May. It's going to be Le Pen against either possibly the former French Prime Minister Francois Fillon, although he is dogged by allegations of corruption, or it's her against Macron, who, rather like Monsieur Trudeau from Canada, is sort of a pretty boy without much political experience. But if it's Macron v Le Pen, which is what I think it's going to be, it won't just be a battle of personalities, but a battle of ideologies. Macron supports the euro, a United States of Europe, a European army. Le Pen believes in independence. It could be, if that's the runoff, the most important democratic election the West has seen for many, many years.
Give me a prediction, would you? 6 months from now, is the European Union more shaky than it is now because of those 2 elections?
Do you know something? Even if Le Pen doesn't win outright, she'll win because she'll shift the centre of gravity of the whole European debate in France. The European Union is dying before our very eyes. The only question is, how long will it take?
I love
Now,
that.
President
And
Trump
you know
meets
that
with Joe-
Nigel has a lot of patience. So
He's been in this battle for so long. Oh my
Right.
gosh. I mean, kudos to him.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we know him though, since we talked to him yesterday. I just kind of feel like we're best friends now. Like, I feel like I should have given him my number so that if, in case he had any questions on state matters, that he could ask for my advice.
this article here.
It's all going to my head now.
Theresa May, while we're on the
European partners have made clear to me that they want to get on with them.
talking about getting on with Brexit.
Get on with it.
It's one of those things where from what I've been reading, is it's a divorce, and there has to be like some sort of divorce settlement.
There was no
And
prenup when you guys
so
entered the European Union.
Union has demanded that Britain pays $52 billion. And a lot of the people, including your guy down here, I'm sorry I don't know everyone in Britain, but I am listening.
We're learning.
I just know his hair was quite interesting to me. Looked like somebody kind of just went to his hair, but you know, maybe it could be it's kind of a good look, kind of works for him. The European Union negotiators warn Britain will still be on the hook for projects it signed off on, while still member, as well as pensions for the Brussels officials. Isn't that great?
Still got to pay them pensions.
The decision to enforce the so-called divorce bill could cause a huge split between Britain and the rest of the EU's 28 member states who have publicly backed the lofty settlement. No wonder,
Well,
right?
duh.
The Irish Prime Minister, Edna Kenny, indicated he too would back the divorce bill as he arrived at the Brussels summit yesterday. He said, when you sign up for a contract, you commit yourself to participation, and obviously the extent of that level of money will be determined. It will have to be dealt with. Of course, everyone wants the money. But Mrs. May's government claims there is no law or treaty that could force the UK to make payments after Brexit. So let's hear.
What does the British government say if Michel Barnier, the lead negotiator, slaps down a bill for £50 billion?
I think we have illustrious precedent in this matter. You will doubtless recall the 1984 Fontainebleau summit, in which Mrs. Thatcher said she wanted her money back, and I think that is exactly what we will get.
But we will say
it is
no,
not
that's what you're saying.
It is not reasonable, I don't think, for the UK, having left the EU, to continue to make vast budget payments. I think everybody understands that, and that's the reality.
So, will you not be stuck with a $52 billion divorce bill? We shall see, but I guess Theresa May is really wanting you to get on with Brexit, so.
Yeah, and that's exciting because I know how you guys feel about Theresa May. You know, take her or leave her, whatever. But she's wanting to make this happen, so I think that's the point where you can get behind her.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen. Not let's, but yeah, let's, because we're with you guys.
We
in
were.
Spirit. Okay, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications so you get an email every time we put out a new video, and find us on Facebook. All right, we love you guys. God bless.
I was cold all alone, no place for home every day, so afraid, but you called my name.